So now we switch gear to something that was like kind of hot in the past 2 years, especially last year. WannaCry and Petya. I just use these two examples. Right. So what is WannaCry? So basically it's a ransomware attack back in May 2017 worldwide. And it targets mainly Microsoft Windows operating systems. But it doesn't mean that Microsoft is not safe. It's just that these are the majority of the OS in the world. So if I were a hacker, I want to create a ransomware, I would definitely target Microsoft platform because they are most of the people will be using Microsoft rather than Linux or Windows or Mac, right? So just let me explain how ransomware works typically. So firstly, I think I still need to point it. Firstly, we just infect the system like any other malware, like any other virus. Okay. Firstly, it could be via email, download. Kind of like you're curious about a PDF attachment, then you open it. And then once it goes in, it downloads itself, the main program, then you search for all the documents that you have, your Excel file, your Word documents, your PowerPoints, your engineering drawings, and so on, legal documents. Search for all of them, and then they start encrypting them. And then they will give instruction, they are very kind, they give you instruction, and for those who are interested to know how to buy Bitcoin, you can actually make yourself be infected by ransomware, they'll teach you how to buy Bitcoin. Also, and then they get paid, and then finally they provide the decryption program. Sometimes they don't, right? So sometimes even after you get paid, they actually don't give you the decryption program. So I just want to ask you a question, or two questions. Firstly, why is ransomware possible, and what makes ransomware so successful? Why is ransomware possible? Obvious, because you need to do encryption. So there must be a mature encryption technology, but that is available like 20 years ago. Alright? In fact, Dr. Ken envisioned that ransomware will become very, very popular one day. But at that time, we were lacking of one thing, the mode of payment. Alright? In other words, 20 years ago, if I design a ransomware, I infect a PC, how do I get the money? I can't ask them to bank into my bank account, the police will know it's me. Ransomware is successful today because of Bitcoin. Without Bitcoin, ransomware will not be so successful because Bitcoin payment is all anonymous. So this is kind of a perfect storm, right? You have the technology and you have a coin, also based on technology, right? So that's how it impacts. Let's move on. So this is an example of the ransomware email. You say, hello. See, it's very suspicious. Don't be curious when you get from an unknown person with a kind of like not targeted to you and asking you to do something. Please sign the attached contract. You don't even address me correctly and ask me to sign a contract. And firstly, I'm not even expecting a contract. And why are you so curious to open this attachment? And likewise, hi, the monthly financial statement is attached. Who are you? Why are you sending me a financial statement? You must be consciously be suspicious about all these weird emails that come from nowhere and just try not to open them. So, but there are curious people, because I personally handled one case where the customer was infected. In fact, just a question. You know, normally we would recommend people to do backups. So when ransomware comes in and infect your PC, you still have a backup copy. So it's fine. You can encrypt all the files. I can just format my PC and copy back my files. And then this person, actually they have a thumb drive for backup. Then why this person still couldn't recover the files? Anyone? Wild guess? This person, good practice. Every time the person saves the work, they also make a copy to a thumb drive. Good. But why this person couldn't recover the files? Anyone? Wild guess? Right. Sorry, more coffee, yeah, later. Right, because he did not unplug the USB. The USB was constantly on the PC. So the ransomware will hunt for all the files, including the files on the thumb drive. So please unplug your thumb drive if you actually do backup. Alright, this is how it looks like WannaCry. Once you get infected with WannaCry, firstly, they are very kind. They explain to you what happened to your computer, or your important files are encrypted, and then can I recover my files? Sure, we guarantee that you can recover your files. And then how do I pay? Okay, pay by accept Bitcoin, and then they are kind enough to remind you that the payment will be raised after two days, 23 hours, and so on. Basically, give you 3 days. If you do not pay by this time, the Bitcoin will increase from say 1 Bitcoin to 2 Bitcoin to 4 Bitcoins. So when I handled the case, the Bitcoin was about $600, and then we paid 4 Bitcoins, which is around 9,000 ringgit at that time for that client. And then, can you imagine 4 Bitcoin today, or when it was peak, okay? Like when it was like $18,000, right? And then again, there's another one thing saying your files will be lost on after this time in 7 days. In other words, even after 7 days, if you don't pay, means you'll be losing your file for good. Right. So this is, if for those who have not seen WannaCry, I hope you have not. Okay. So this is how it looks like. Your Windows screen will become this. I still have some samples of WannaCry and some others. If you are interested to play around with it in your own lab, but better not. No, just kidding. All right. It's very dangerous, but we do, because as security consultants, we actually need to play around with them in our lab to understand them more. Okay, so kind of like quite a lot of organizations actually fell victim with a lot of computers infected. I won't go through in detail. And this is kind of the estimated economic cost of WannaCry so far, impacting the organizations worldwide, 5.2 billion approximately. All right. So let's move on. Okay, so Malaysia is actually not spared. So WannaCry actually attacked Malaysia, is in the news. And then we move on to another ransomware called Petya. So Petya is actually a name, a Bulgarian female given name. So if you go to Bulgaria, there will be a lot of ladies called Petya. Alright? So I do not know, Petya actually came from Russia. So it is a more advanced and harsh version of ransomware. Instead of looking for all the files in your Windows systems, it actually encrypts the entire hard disk. Okay? So that you must pay ransom to actually get the whole hard disk back, right? So it was first discovered in 2016. There are various names. Besides Petya, it's called Nyetnya, I don't know why. And there's one called NotPetya. So what I'm trying to tell you is NotPetya. I'll explain NotPetya is a more evil version of Petya, okay? Again, it targets Microsoft Windows operating system, and also again, Bitcoin is accepted. And this is a sample screenshot. I'm sure you have seen the very infamous Windows blue screen. Okay, this one gives you a text-based red screen. Alright? Say when you try to boot up your Windows, you cannot boot in your Windows, you'll see this like normally blue screen, but it's a red screen. Again, telling you that you are a victim of ransomware, and this is what you do, you come to the website, and then subsequently you pay, and so on. Alright? It's the same thing, but this is a kind of like, because it encrypted your hard disk, so you can't even boot up your Windows. Alright? And again, it's in the news, various news. I just flashed through them, like various CEOs come and talk about how much we have lost and so on. All right, and this is the evil twin, the NotPetya. So actually, NotPetya is actually based on the Petya technology, but it's not Petya. It is able to spread itself without user downloading it, okay, through the network. And it encrypts not only the master boot record, basically, not only you cannot boot, but it also encrypts other files. Because you know, as a techie, you say, oh, you encrypt my so-called my master boot record and so on. I can always take the whole hard disk and plug it into another PC and then kind of recover my files. But it also encrypts all the files. And the worst thing is, actually, there's no identification for the infected machine. Because typically, when a ransomware infects your machine, there's an ID. So when you make payment, it's tied to the ID, so that they'll give you a corresponding decryption key based on the ID for your PC. But they actually realize that there's no ID, and in many cases, even after you have paid the ransom, you will not get your ransom decryption key. So it's like you pay for nothing, right?